WBFZ 105.3.
You are tuned in and listening to Growing Forward on WBFZ 105.3 FM. Selma. Watch us live at facebook.com/wearegrowingforward.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. You are tuned in and listening live to the hottest new show on WBFZ. It is none other than Growing Forward. Y'all, we're going to have a wonderful, wonderful conversation today. In the building with me, I have Mrs. Corleen Moore. Look, we are all over technology this morning. So if you are not able to listen or you want to see what's going on live in the studio, you can log on to Facebook. That is facebook.com/Let's Grow Forward to see everything, even the behind the scenes, y'all. It's like a reality show in our very own radio station. This morning, our topic is kind of more along the lines of talk is cheap, because what we need right now is a community across the Black Belt of Alabama, in the city of Selma, and across our nation, is people who are willing to put their hand on the problem and do something instead of just sitting in the back and talking about all the problems. Let's work on the solutions. So today our entire show is going to be devoted to solutions for our community. We are right now dealing with some issues related to violence and young people not having a whole lot to, or we think they don't have a whole lot to be involved in, but we will see just what Selma has to offer and the Black Belt and our country has to offer this morning, because again, my guest is Mrs. Corleen Moore. I am so excited to have her here. She is one of the founders and the CEO of the Boss League, so we're going to have a great conversation. Also, just want to give a quick shout out to my classmates, class of 1996, Selma High Saints. Y'all, as y'all roll into town for our reunion. We are the best that ever did it, so I look forward to this weekend. And without further ado, it is going to be a great day. We want to go ahead and move right into our conversation this morning on Growing Forward right here at WBFZ. Again, my name is Lydia Chatman. I am your host, and I'm joined today by Mrs. Corleen Moore. Say hello.
Hello, everybody. How y'all doing?
And we are going to be talking about the fact that we have some solutions already in place. We're not focusing on the problems. It's time out for us to stop pointing fingers. We got to stop pointing fingers and trying to play the blame game. It's time for us to join together and to actually seek out those solutions we already have in place, and to move forward to help those things that we have in place that serve as solutions in our community. And we're going to give the bottom half of the hour, we're going to talk about some practical things that each and every one of us can do right now, starting today, including WBFZ. We've already talked to them about doing this PSA. Back in the day, there used to be on television and on the radio a little PSA that says, it's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your children are? How about WBFZ is going to bring back the old school? Because, see, everything old school is not bad.
That's right.
So we're going to continue to have a great conversation. Welcome, Mrs. Moore.
Hello, hello, hello. It's a pleasure of me being here.
Absolutely. And you are the CEO of the Boss Youth League.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, for our listeners who may be unfamiliar with the Boss Youth League, what is the Boss Youth League and how did it get started?
Boss Youth League is, well, to begin with, BOSS is an acronym for Best of Student Shooters. And what it is, we teach kids the fundamentals of basketball. And the acronym, the letters, BOSS, represents the entrepreneurial aspect of our program, teaching kids the fundamentals on how to start their own business. And so it started because I used to coach at the Brown Y, and a lot of the kids came and they got me and they wanted me to coach them. And at the time, I wasn't able to coach for the new Y, so we went ahead and began and did our own thing. And anybody who's ever played basketball will tell you that there's a means to an end. And if you don't understand where you're trying to go with basketball, then basketball will use you instead of you using it. And so a lot of kids, they have the dreams of making it to NBA and the WNBA and reaching certain levels, but that isn't always the case. And so we're trying to shape the kids and letting them go as far as they can with basketball, but using basketball as a vehicle to pay for their education, to meet people, to get disciplined, and just go to different areas in their life through that sport. And so that's one of the main aspects of our program, because me playing basketball, when you're done playing or you've reached the pinnacle of your basketball career, you feel lost, you don't know what you want to do in life. A lot of people resort to coaching or doing other things, but they really never had an opportunity to discover themselves. If we are blessed enough to have a kid from our program go to the NBA or the WNBA, they'll have those beginning skills on managing funds and knowing how to start their own business, because you become a brand within that, and you know how to begin your business, and you don't have to worry about depending or relying on your NBA or WNBA income. You can start yourself and know that you have self-empowerment in owning your own business.
And knowing what's next, so to speak, that's a great thing. And the skills that you all are teaching them, teaching your students to basically manage money. That's something that we've talked about here in the show. We'll continue to harp on the issue of developing wealth. And like you said, not depending on just that one stream of professional sports play, that check, but also being able to diversify your interests and develop your entrepreneurial skills, because I know you are well aware that in the majority of public school systems and many private institutions teach our children how to go to work for someone else as opposed to actually embracing the principles of entrepreneurship. Mm-hmm. So I applaud the Boss League for what you all are doing in that vein. And I've seen some pictures. You all also prepare them with public speaking as well. Some videos I've seen of your athletes. Can you kind of describe some of the additional things that you do as far as like public speaking? Because they do set up like press conferences. Yeah. And they are opportunities for the young people to express themselves.
Yes, ma'am. Well, one of the things that we do to prepare them for public speaking is we have them go to council meetings where they have to shake hands of all the council members and speak. When we go on trips, they're required to prepare questions to ask the professional athlete or whoever the entrepreneur is at the moment. And also we, like Miss Lydia Chatman said, that we do press conferences where we set it up and they're asked questions. Kind of like how you see the NBA players, they do their press conferences. They don't just throw any NBA player out there not prepared, not trained, not knowing what to say, and sounding ignorant. Although they may not be ignorant, but a lot of people don't, that's not one of their strong points, knowing how to speak in public and not being nervous and being confident when they speak. And so that's one of the things that we work on with the kids, having questions prepared for them, knowing what to say and how to say it, and knowing how to voice their opinions and how to state facts and how to be motivated and say what they want to say, but being respectful towards other people. And so that's one of the things we do with the press conferences.
Awesome. So now, how long has the Boss League been around?
We've been in existence for approximately 5 years.
Okay. So you all have a pretty good track record. And I know that in our conversation earlier this week, you were sharing with me that at all of the high schools in Dallas County, you all had starting players, right?
Yes, ma'am. At Dallas County system, as far as we had a starting player at Southside, we had Lee Underwood, we had Dallas County, we had Georgiandra Dower, Kayla, we had Allen, several other players at R.B. Hudson, at Selma High School with Tashari Grimes and other players. Even at the private school at Memphis, we had Carlos Grimes, and also at ECA, we had several kids at ECA. And you name it, every school in Dallas County, in the county system, in our county, we had a starting player on the team on the floor at the time, and some of which have never played basketball a day in their life, and we helped develop that skill.
And now the reason for listeners who may not understand why I asked that question, it's important for us to embrace programs that are actually making a difference. Mm-hmm. It's not that these are young people who are, like you said, may have never played basketball basketball day of life, and they may want to explore the sport, but you all are actually teaching the basics, teaching the fundamentals, and you're teaching them to the extent that they are actually becoming starting players for our high school, middle school, and high school teams in the area. So this is an outstanding opportunity for young people. Now, if you could kind of describe I hear your passion every time I've ever heard you do an interview, and we spoke several times this week leading up to this show about some things related to the Boss League. So if you could kind of describe who you are and why this drive is so, like your passion is so intense for making the Boss League and our young people in this community so much better.
Yes. So, in other words, you're asking me to say who I am?
Yes.
I don't know if I have enough time, because I could go on and on about myself.
Right?
I have to cut myself off. But I'm going to sum it up. My name is Corleen St. Cyr Moore. I'm from Miami, Florida. I come from 2 Haitian immigrant parents who were entrepreneurs themselves. My father, he went on to be a homicide detective on First 48. My mother, she came from Haiti, and she had that hustle about her. And a lot of people may think that I'm tough or whatnot because I'm direct, and that's how it is in a big city. It's very direct, no undercut. You got to get to the business. But my mother, on the other hand, she on another level. She's very, headstrong, very driven, and I've learned that from her. I never really knew my grandmother, but she was a business owner as well, and so that's one of the traits that I had growing up. My mom having her own business, and us kids. I don't know if y'all know about any island parents, but the parents, they have kids, and the kids become employees. So I didn't know I was working, counting money and doing customer service, and come to find out I was working on.
You had a job for a long time, right?
I had a job. All us brothers and sisters had a job, and so I played basketball because my older brother, he, my parents just came from Haiti, so they really didn't have money to begin with. And so I won a lot of my brother's clothes, so I was kind of a tomboy. Like the girls, you know how girls can be. They didn't want to play with you, and the boys played with me. So I ended up playing basketball and became good at it. I'm trying to humble myself, so I was all right.
Right, you was a beast, man. Stop playing.
Don't put my head up, But, yeah, so I played basketball, and I ended up playing at Concordia and helping to revamp the women's basketball team at Selma University. And I've always coached. I've coached in Miami, Florida at Aspire Middle, and we won 4 championships in 5 years. No, 3 championships in 5 years. 2 with the girls, 1 with the boys. And so I've always had that passion. I've always knew how to teach, and that entrepreneur aspect come from my background, and the basketball aspect came from me playing around and me being more open because I was shy as well. And so the basketball helped me be more vocal, because as a point guard, you have to be a leader, you have to be vocal, and you have to speak and say what you want.
And now, for those who may question why I allowed her to do her intro, because typically I ask guests to do their intros first. But as someone who is so deeply immersed in working with the young people in our community, sometimes some of us can look at people and say, oh, well, you're not from here, and kind of shut down before you even hear what it is the person has to offer. So your intro was timed as it was this morning, because I wanted people to hear all the great things that you're doing before, saying, oh, well, she's not even from Selma, because I promise you, there are some great people and some great ideas that are benefiting our community and communities across the country from people who are not from those areas. Because what happens is you are able to look through a different lens. And it's so great to have you as a part of our community. And I know that we need to kind of pay a bill real quick. We have 2 minutes before we need to pay that bill. Y'all, look, I'm trying to stay on time with these ads. So again, I do want to thank you and your husband, actually,
you,
for
thank
all
you.
of the work. You are the wife of. Tell the people, girl.
People.
Yeah, talk to the people.
Darius Moore, y'all know him as Demo. He used to be real popular on the radio,
Yes.
and he has a reputation here in Selma, Alabama. Darius is my biggest fan, believe it or not. He's very supportive. He's very good with the kids.
Pretty good ball player himself, too.
Right, exactly.
He all right. He all right.
And the member of the class of 96 for Selma High. Shout out again. Look.
Yes, he's a member of that class.
Yes.
But yeah, I love him. He's a really good guy. He does the paperwork. He loves to read. He's sort of a bookworm. He's gonna kill me for telling y'all this, but he's very much a perfectionist. He's the behind the scenes person, as I deal with the parents and the coaching and developing some of the ideas in the curriculum. He's the one that creates the website, the paperwork, brochures, and everything of that nature. So we're a good team.
Wonderful. Teamwork makes the dream work. Now we're going to take a really quick break, pay a bill real quick, and we're going to come back to you and start talking about how we can get involved, get our students involved with BOSS.
Yes, ma'am.
We're going to ask you guys to call Taylor Internal Medicine at 334-874-8800. If you have back pain or knee pain, call Taylor Internal Medicine at 874-8800. Now back to Lydia.
Yes, we are live with Mrs. Corleen Moore. My name again is Lydia Chatman, and I am the host of Growing Forward. We're talking about the BOSS Youth League, and Mrs. Moore has given us some details about herself. She's talked about there's many things that the BOSS Youth League is doing in our community. So if I'm a parent and I'm interested in my child becoming a part of the league, are there age requirements? Are there multiple teams? Like, if you don't mind giving us some details about the requirements that parents need to be aware of.
Yes, if you're interested in signing your kid up, and as a parent, there's a lot of information you can get. We usually have a parent orientation where the parents are told about what the program consists of, the curriculum, the code of ethics, some of the plays, the assignments, the business assignments. And so what you would have to do, you would have to sign your kids up on bossyouthleague.org. We ask that the kids, if they have a Facebook or if you have a Facebook, to like our page, Boss Youth League. And also to bring a copy of the physical, a copy of, and after they register on bossyouthleague.org, also bring a copy of a physical, a birth certificate, and a registration fee of $35. Very inexpensive. It lasts a semester from usually 4 to 5 months, and this next semester is January to April. And the second week, next Wednesday, will be the last day to register your kid for this semester. And yeah, all your kids, they'll be given an opportunity to come and sign up as soon as you register them and they like the page. Also, I'm trying to see if I missed any. Oh, we work with kids from 6 to 18, and we practice over there at SOD on Wednesdays from 3:30 to 5:30, and on Fridays at Crescent Hill Road. It's right behind Houston Park Church of Christ.
Okay.
On Fridays from 4:45 to 6. And so we practice twice a week, but the program entails a lot. It's a lifestyle. It's monitoring. It's supervising the kids and supervising the program. It's very involved, and so I know you didn't ask me this, but we do need volunteers. I know she's gonna ask me later.
Yes, that's actually the next question.
Yeah.
But I do just want to remind folks how to get their students involved. You said next Wednesday,
Yes.
the last day for students to sign up, and the ages are from 6 years of age to 18.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's a really broad age range. So I promise you, parents, if you want to get your young people involved, this is the opportunity for them. By next Wednesday, you need to visit bossyouthleague.org. So log on to the website. I know if you're watching live on Facebook, The web address is being posted. Thank you, Mr. Kenderson, for posting that web address. Use the live link so you can just click on that and move forward. I will go ahead and post that on the page as well and share that on my personal page. And you all are also on Facebook. That is facebook.com/Boss Youth League.
Yes, ma'am.
So please, you guys, if you have a young person between the ages of 6 and 18, if they are remotely interested in handling a basketball, but you also want to have them learn skills related to financial management and being able to become entrepreneurs, then we strongly encourage you to get your young people involved. Again, Wednesday is the last day for you to sign your student up for the Boss Youth League. Caller, you're on Live with Growing Forward.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
No, it's still morning. Good morning, Miss Chatman.
Good morning.
And brother, Mrs. Moore.
Hey.
And we know Mrs. Moore is Miss Q.
Yeah. Oh,
Yes.
yes, ma'am.
I call to encourage parents to take this opportunity to enroll your children. I can speak from experience. Our young man, Jonavia Smith, the center, I guess at Southside High School. He went through the program, and it was a wonderful experience for him. He learned some discipline, some structure, some guidance, direction. He enhanced his skills. Ms. Q, I've never seen him play like he played when he played with you and Coach Moore. I want to thank you for the opportunity that you shared with him. And I want to encourage parents to please enroll your children in the Boss League program. It's an experience like they would never have before. It's an experience that will prepare them for their future, not only with their athletical skills, but it also helps with their social and their academic skills. So please, by all means, enroll your children in this program by Wednesday. Thank you, Coach Q. Thank you, Coach Moore. Thank you, Ms. Chatman. God bless you and have a Happy New Year and Kwanzaa.
Thank you. Happy
God
New Year and
bless
Happy
you.
Kwanzaa to you as
Thank
well.
you.
And you know what? Now, that's just a testimony, y'all. We don't
That's
have
big.
people come on this show and call people to let them know that they're coming on so that they can get false advertising, so to speak.
No, it was
This is a live caller, a parent who actually called in to express thanks to Coach Q and her husband for all of the hard work that they're doing. You all basically volunteer to do what you're doing.
Yes, for the past 5 years.
For 5 years, you all have been the boots on the ground. You have literally put your hand on the problem and said, wait a minute, there is something that is missing for young people in this community. What can we do about it? Now, I want to salute you all for doing that, because right now we are experiencing a whole lot of drama, so to speak, on social media, with people going back and forth and pointing fingers about the violent crimes that are occurring, particularly in the city of Selma. And what and surround, like right around the city of Selma and areas. And what I want to encourage everyone to do is, you all, the Boss Youth League, need your support. This is a program that has been in existence for 5 years. They have groomed young people to become not just athletes, but excellent in academics as well. They are grooming young people to become entrepreneurs, to be able to earn their own dollar. Because someone once said it is better for you to earn one dime for yourself than a dollar for someone else.
That's right.
Okay? So helping young people to not just understand the game of basketball, but understand the game of life is what the Boss Youth League is doing in our community. They are 5 years strong. Husband and wife team that have been volunteering, y'all. How many of us would volunteer for 5 years to do something, working with young people in our community to give them something positive to do? I salute you and Demo for all of the hard work that you all are doing, and I want to encourage everyone to get involved. We had a very fruitful meeting earlier this week, and I know that there are some things we're already working on to make sure that you all get the funding that is necessary for your organization to continue to move. And then volunteers. This is an opportunity right now for you to address the public, look, our listening audience and those who are watching us on Facebook. Let us know what we can do to help Boss Youth League be successful, because what we don't need anymore in any community across our country is a duplication of services.
Thank
If
you.
something already exists, let's support what is in place and expand upon what's in place. And not so much try to keep recreating something that's already there when we can support something that you all already have your 501c3 status,
Yes, ma'am.
correct? So what can we do as community members to volunteer to get involved and make sure that Boss Youth League becomes everything that you all desire?
Well, we have a lot of fundraising campaigns, a lot of fundraising ideas, a lot of events. One of the things you can do is participate. You know, even if you might not have money, you have time. And if you have time, just come and participate. Come to our events, whatever we're having, whatever we're hosting, to participate. Another one is funds. You know, whenever money is brought up, people get iffy, people are turned away. But funds are what help. You know, if you can imagine going to work every day and never getting paid, you need to live, you need to survive. And so with that being said, we need funds to help these kids get better jerseys, travel to more places. We want to have reliable coaches to be able to pay them an income, or just everything. Having a sustainable and a comfortable place to practice all the time. We need funds, so any dollar would help. Never think that 50 cents, $2, don't ever think that is not enough,
It
because
adds up.
every dollar counts. Everybody in Selma, if they donated $1, that'll be about $20,000. So all of that adds up, all of that counts, and you can do so by donating on bossyouthleague.org. Also, if you have social media, share it on Snapchat, share it on Facebook, on Twitter, by retweeting Boss Youth League. We have a Twitter as well, Boss Youth League, by allowing us to go viral. All these big places, they have organizations that go viral. They have a support system.
Absolutely.
And in Selma, we need to do the same. We need to allow us to go viral and allow us to go far. And so with that being said, that's what we need you all to do, to like and share our page, share what we're doing for the kids, come to the event, support them. I remember playing basketball, not having that many people to come out, and you know, I probably would have been further had I would have had people come out. And when you come, even if it's not your kid, even if you don't have any kids in the program, if you come and watch them play, watch them make a presentation, support their business and entrepreneurial endeavors. We have one parent, her name is Kim, she worked for the city. She has 3 boys, Ken, Trey, and KJ. They all formed a mini business where they provide services for people. And the last event that I know about was them assisting with Angela Benjamin. And thanks a lot to Angela Benjamin. She's been supportive a lot. We appreciate her. But they supported her, the event. And, you know, they came from our program and they developed a mini business plan. And so if, you know, any of our kids develop a business, to support that business, because it'll encourage them, it'll help them do better, they'll have confidence, and then they'll keep them off the street. A lot of these kids, if they see that there's other means to make an income,
absolutely,
it'll keep them off the street, because believe it or not, selling drugs, it's a form of entrepreneurship. The problem is it's illegal and it hurts the community and it tears everybody down. And anytime you're doing a business, you want to think about your stakeholders and everybody involved in your whole community. And so if you think about that and you develop a business plan and you develop a business and you're helping the community and you're making the community grow forward, that'll help. So that's that's some of the ways. And also volunteering. If you ever played basketball or you're a business owner yourself, you've been very successful, you come talk to our kids. Let them see it, you know. Sometimes when you're too familiar with the kids, they don't think that you're serious. They don't think that you're a big deal. But if the kids don't really know you and you have your business and you're successful with that business, and they see that you have money, because that's how the kids think. They see the money and they see that you've grown and you're successful, that can motivate them. So you can come talk to the kids. Just donate your time, donate your funds, donate your energy, like, share what we're doing, help us go viral, help us help these kids.
Absolutely. And we're going to continue to talk about that. As a matter of fact, during the second half of this hour, what we're going to particularly talk about is how we as individuals can actually do some things starting today to impact the lives of our children, including getting them involved with the Boss Youth League. Again, Wednesday is the last day to sign up your students. So if you have a young person between the ages of 6 and 18 and you want them to be involved with the Boss Youth League, please log on to bossyouthleague.org. That's BOSS, like boss person. Youth, YOUTH, League, LEAGUE.org. And you can get your young person signed up. You can also make donations to the program at this website. You all, this is a viable program. The Boss Youth League has been around for over 5 years, and it is imperative that we begin to embrace programs that are actually proactive as opposed to adopting a lifestyle of being reactive to the problems in our community. So we are going to take a quick break. When we come right back, we're going to start talking about these things that we can actually do, making ourselves committees of one to solve the problems in our community. Y'all, we are the solution we've been looking for. Now we stay live. Hey. So they'll be able to hear.
Hey, just the kid said. That's one of our board members, John.
Yeah, you talk, and Principal Cicely Curtis.
Yeah,
she's on.
Hey.
Artie, class of 96. Hey, boo, we'll see you later. Look.
Miss Cicely Curtis. She really assists us. I want to give a shout out to those people because she really gave us a good.
If you want to sponsor one kid, how much does it cost?
$35.
No, I'm saying for the year.
For the year, 35 times for whatever. I mean, time three.
Three
Yeah.
semesters. Oh, okay.
That's $105. Yeah, $105.
Radio.
Hey, Rose, it's Bishop. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
All right. Listen, I wanted to tell you, you don't have to do the commercial until 10 minutes too. So you can either let them run and don't do it in 10 minutes too, but let's try to be in 10 minutes too.
So do it the 10?
Yeah.
And 10 minutes, like,
Oh, so the 50?
on the 50, yeah.
Okay, I got you.
All right, thanks.
All right. So we'll have to run commercials to the 50. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Alrighty then.
I was thinking the bottom of the hour. So you want to come up out of it when that one finished? I'll come back into holiday season. HIV testing.
Yeah, go ahead.
What is that? That 10? That 9876? That's what we
Yeah, it is.
You got a computer up?
Yeah.
I seen a couple of people. I'm getting old, y'all. I think I'm getting old. It was hard for me to see this Curtis name.
Turn me on. You
got
got
to give yourself the gift of knowledge.
Look at left one right here, left one right there.
Get tested. Selma Air is
Lord,
your local resource for free, confidential HIV
We get it
testing
together,
and
baby.
Lord.
education. Call us today at 334-872-7799.
Running bite.
Yeah, running bike. Look.
Running bite.
Or
I'm
log
not.
on to our website at
I'll do this
You ready
other
for the
one.
vote? Go ahead.
www.selmaair.org for more information.
Yes, it is,
This
bro.
a public service
You hear his voice.
to you,
Yeah.
Selma Air.
Jacob Marshall.
Selma Air is a federally recognized
What was his radio
not-for-profit
name? I can't remember what it
organization.
was.
He was on the radio.
Really? He was on the...
He didn't tell me.
Hey, boo! I'm
Hey.
coming to you. You see this, sir?
HIV is still a very critical issue in the African
You
American
gonna run back
community.
with your...
If current trends
Yeah, I'm gonna come back in to call in.
Call in.
And then we're gonna hit it, baby. Y'all call in 334-872-7004.
I want you to address
Here's the
this
number to dial.
women's basketball in
Whether
Dallas
you have
County.
one partner or several, having sex
Now you know
without a
Q is
condom
horrible.
or
Now we gotta do
protection
something about
is the main way
Who a
HIV
gator?
But you know what? I
If you
had
do
a
not
girl.
know
She was a
yourself,
starting point
do
guard.
yourself
Georgia.
a favor.
Yeah, I know Georgia.
She went to Georgia.
Selma
We taught her
Air
from
is your
scratch.
local resource
Wow.
for
Her-
Hey,
free,
She
Keisha.
really wanted it.
That's the
too.
96
She really
boo.
wanted
They
it.
should read it, but now they moved to Georgia. I mean, like I said, if these teams want to win, they can send them to us, and we can help develop them more. A lot of them, you know, they depend on pure athleticism, and that's not the case. You gotta have your fundamentals. That'll take you further.
We about to hear it.
You're listening live to Growing
Tim
Forward
Duncan.
on
You see it, boo?
WBFZ 105.3 FM Selma. Call us now with your questions and comments. 334-872-7004.
You are tuned in and listening live to Growing Forward on this beautiful Friday, December 30th. The time is now 11:35, and as promised, we are going to dive into practical solutions to this issue that we have called violent crime in our community. And it's not just the city of Selma that's experiencing violent crime. We have cities across the country and cities around the world that are experiencing violent crime. But some things that we want to talk about today, as far as practical solutions, include getting our children involved in programs that are meaningful, including the Boss Youth League. My guest today is Mrs. Corleen Moore. She is the CEO of the Boss Youth League, and she's given us some great information, including how we can get our young people involved. And if you have a 6-year-old to an 18-year-old, a student who is 6 to 18, little boys, little girls, young men, young ladies, who are interested in becoming entrepreneurs. They may have a small interest in basketball, because it's not all about the sport. It is learning the game of life through the game of basketball. And so if you are interested in having your young person participate, please log on to bossyouthleague.org. Also, let me just give you some details. Next Wednesday is the last day for your students to sign up for this particular semester. The cost is only $35. Okay, so we're talking $35 for a 4 to 5 month program, which is super cheap. After school programs are more expensive than that. And I'm sure, because you all take trips, you all do press conferences, so you teach the young people public speaking skills. You talk about entrepreneurship and teach them financial management. So there's so much that you all do. And you're 5 years strong. Again, only $35 for the semester. If you would like to sponsor a child, if you don't have a student who may be interested, but you want to sponsor a child, $105. Look, we at 105.3. Look at this here. Look at God. Okay. $105 is a scholarship for a complete year of participation. There's 3 full semesters, because you all take the summer off?
No,
okay, so that's all 3. Okay, so that's the 4. Girl, get the math right. Okay, so 4 months, okay, per. So year-round programming, $105. Y'all divide that a day. Now, it's commercials. Let me go here. It's commercials on television. They tell you for pennies a day, you can adopt an elephant that you do not even know. But for $105 a year, you can literally sponsor a child in this community who may not be able to afford, but needs the opportunity to be exposed to the sport of basketball, to be exposed to financial management, to be exposed to public speaking, to be exposed to different environments, because Boss Youth League doesn't just do programming here in Selma. They travel. They have gone to Miami, Florida. They've gone to Tennessee. They've traveled and allowed young people from our community to experience things outside of this city. Eye-opening experiences is what the Boss Youth League provides to young people. So again, if you want to get your 6 to 18-year-old involved, please get them signed no later than next Wednesday by logging on to bossyouthleague.org. And again, if you want to sponsor a child, you can take that route as well. Now, if someone does not have access to the internet, or they're not savvy with social media, how can they get in touch with you?
Well, they can give me a call at 786-413-8853. That's 786-413-8853. Or 334-327-5165. That's 334-327-5165. And we'll have a computer on hand where they can go ahead. We can guide them and assist them. We do have some paper copies, but we're really trying to get away from that and have everything online.
Absolutely.
Digital with everything.
Absolutely. So this is an outstanding opportunity. Again, if you don't have a young person between 6 and 18 who you'd like to get involved with the Boss Youth League, you can sponsor a child for $105 for an entire year. You can sponsor a child's involvement. That's a scholarship for the Boss Youth League. So if you want to take the time out, y'all, it's a new year, new things, new beginnings. Everybody makes these resolutions. Y'all start today and contribute to a program that's 5 years strong, and they are making a real difference. Now, how can we continue to make a difference? Outside of contributing to the Boss Youth League, what are some things that we can do? Well, Mrs. Moore and I have had many wonderful conversations about this, and particularly about the city of Selma. And one of the things that I know that we've talked about is to make sure that parents, y'all, we as adults, whether we are parent or not, have got to start picking up that thing called a mirror and use it for reflection and then correction. We have got to see that a large part of the problem is actually the people who are doing the complaining, which is us.
Wow.
When we refuse to be active in the lives of our young people, when we don't take the initiative to have a conversation, we can't get off our cell phones and off of TV long enough to have a conversation with our own children, much less somebody else's. Y'all, we create the dynamics that we see right now. And I know that we've had this conversation several times over the past few days about tangible things, like really quick things that we can do. And one of those things is to actually volunteer. Not just with the Boss Youth League. Of course, I know that you all are definitely looking for volunteers. But volunteering
Period.
is one way that parents, that we as adults can get involved and change some things. Like literally today, pick up the phone and find an agency where you'd like to volunteer. It's important that we start to band together and support what's already here.
Well, to piggyback on that, I would love to just thank everybody for their support. I see Miss Curtis.
Yes.
I greatly appreciate Miss Curtis because we really didn't have a gym to practice in, and she assisted us in that because, you know, when it gets cold, the kids don't want to be outside. We want to make sure that the kids are in a safe environment. So I like to thank her and the city school system for allowing us to use the facility because they see our track record. Also, I like to thank Cecil Williamson for allowing us to use his gym as well for the kids. I like to thank all the council members that was with George Evans and former Mayor George Evans, and also thankful for the current council members such as Miss Angela Benjamin, Miss Susan Keith, and whoever is still on. And I look forward to working with the new council members and also the new mayor. Hopefully he can partner up and allow us to have what we need, the tools and the facilities and anything that we need to help make the kids better. Also, I like to thank Sean King. He helped us a lot. He works over there. He's the manager at On Time Fashion. And I like to thank him and Zeus for donating, and everybody that has donated towards us. And Mr. John Kennerson, he's been added on the board. He works and he does the credit repair. He has his own business, so he's an entrepreneur himself, and he's real successful, really good at promoting. Is there anybody else? I like to thank y'all for allowing us to have this platform, and also other media outlets. I believe Randy Williams for allowing us to come on this show as well. So I just like to thank all the people, if I missed anybody else, and all the parents that helped and shared the program. So if I need to thank anybody else, y'all can let me know. And you were saying, as far as the solutions,
Yes.
part of the solution is being grateful and appreciative for the things that do exist. You know, because it could be very discouraging for people to work and go hard and sweat every day. Before we say there's no this and there's no that, look into the community and see what we do have. I think there was an art gallery somewhere downtown, a museum. There's also the POW Center. There's also organizations that are helping people help feed the hungry people. We as a community need to encourage the people that exist here, because it's time. Money you can spend, time you can't get back. So when someone gives you their time, you know, we have to be very appreciative of that, because that's not something that people have to just waste. And so we just have to be appreciative of the people there to encourage and motivate them. The best way to show that you encourage them is to donate your funds, donate your time. They need funds to keep it moving. A lot of people have money for what they want to have money for. You know, I know when I used to wear weave a lot, I had to get my weave done. You know, I know a lot of people who smoke, they're going to get their cigarettes, they're going to get their drink, they're going to get whatever they want to get. And so we have to make our kids, our youth, the priority. Because it's kind of hard talking to adults. Not saying that they can't change, because they can, but our youth is where it begins. You know, it used to be when the kids were at Selma High. When I first started coaching the kids, I saw that a lot of the kids at Selma High would start to change. And then it started at R.B. Hudson the following year. Now it's at when they get to SOD and when they get to the 5th grade, they get engrafted, they get jumped into gangs, and they want to feel like they're part of somebody. They want to feel like they belong. And so that's where it stopped. So what we need to do, we need to nip that in the bud. We need to correct that. We need to change that. We need to see what is it that's affecting these kids and having them wanting to join gangs. You know, they feel like they belong, but one of the things that the kids have to ask themselves, what is it benefiting me? Whenever you get into an organization or a business, you want to see what are you getting from it.
Your cost-benefit analysis.
Yes.
Yeah.
And a lot of people say, well, I don't want to be used. Well, you have to be used. Either you're useful or useless. How are you going to be useful? The key is to not get misused.
Right.
And so when you join these gangs and you join these things, you're being used and you're being misused. You want to be used for the right purpose.
Absolutely.
You want to be used to benefit the greater good. And so I think that these kids, it's cool to be part of this gang, and it's cool to be part of this life. And the older people that's around 18, 19, you know better. Don't be afraid to say, hey, this is not paying my bills. This is not helping me be better. Don't be afraid to walk away. It's one thing to be in a gang and have somebody stand with you, but when you stand alone and you have the courage to stand for yourself and be that, people will respect you. And so that's one of the solutions we have. Also, if you come with a problem, come with a solution, because now you're just complaining. And complaining is not going to do anything but aggravate people. When you come with a problem, always have a solution. Oh, these kids are in the street. Okay. Oh,
so what is your solution?
It's a lot of killing. All right.
Right.
Oh, it's okay. You need to stand up and do something. Oh, well, we need to do this and this. Okay, you started. You be the leader. You be this. You know, I have a passion for the kids, so I'm gonna focus on the kids. You know what I mean?
And now I embrace what you are saying, but when we talk about things that are happening, it's like, can we at least, like you said, see what's here already? How can we plug in to be a help to what's already here, as opposed to trying to recreate the wheel? It is important for us to begin to take action, even as individuals, making ourselves committees of one to hold ourselves accountable for our own children. If you have a 12-year-old that's out of your house at 11 o'clock, that's not at a sleepover at somebody's house that you know, then clearly we need to take note of that and say, wait a minute, maybe I need to make sure that my children are inside my house at a reasonable hour. Do we spend more time, again, on social media, on Facebook, on Snapchat, at the bar, at the club, at whatever, than we do with our own children? I mean, none of us are perfect, and we all need our outlet. Don't get me wrong. That is critical, that we have our me time, so to speak, so that we can recharge our batteries and are able to give. But at what point do we say enough is enough? That I need to, if I see a child down the street misbehaving, that I say, hey, don't do that. I've lived outside of Selma, and at one point I was living in Syracuse, New York, and there was this person on the street on a bike, and it looked like to me a drug deal. My neighborhood was not too far from a project community, and I said, hey, and my housemate, it was so funny. She said, like, don't scream at people. I'm a screamer. I really will. I will let you know, honey. Because wait a minute. I'm like, hey, we don't do that around here. Mm-hmm. And he just looked up. I said, yeah, you. Mm-hmm. We don't do that around here. He stopped what he was doing and kept moving. Now, I don't think Selma has too much of anything to offer that other cities don't have to offer. I mean, we can look at Detroit, Syracuse, Chicago, LA. There's violence all around. But when we make ourselves committees of one to stop the noise and actually do something, say to our neighbors, hey, baby, look, did you know the person that lives over to the left-hand side, they work nights. So when you pull up in the yard and your music is extraordinarily loud, shaking the pictures, in my house, it's shaking theirs too. So can we work out some kind of schedule or some kind of way that you turn it down as you're approaching the neighborhood so that those people, your neighbors, can get their rest? We've got to learn how to have those conversations, y'all, and it is critical in our community that we begin to work together to solve these problems and take action, including getting your young people involved with the Boss League and all of the great things that they have to offer, y'all. It's almost time for us to wrap up, so I do want to go ahead and give a quick shout out again. I want to give a shout out to those members of class of 1996 from Selma High School who are rolling into town for this big, wonderful weekend. Also to my girl, Sharquina. She is a living example of a young entrepreneur. She is someone who I truly admire. She is a cosmetologist who is in nursing school. She has a lot going on and still finds time to give back to the community and pour into young ladies information and things that she's learned from in her life. And she's young, so there is no age limit, y'all. We can all make a difference. It's just a matter of us stepping up. Also to Mr. Darrell Thomas and the team at Thomas Accounting right on Broad Street. Y'all, I tell you what, it's almost tax time, and we are going to have a heck of a show next Friday, honey, talking about these income taxes. So mark your calendar, put it on your calendar on your phone. Don't be late to tune in next Friday when we start talking about these income taxes. And a way to invest is to contribute. Because, see, everything we do can't be the shop with that money. We can invest in our children. We can invest in our community with the money that we will reap in return from the Internal Revenue Service. Y'all, the Boss Youth League needs you. $105, 105, can provide a scholarship for a year-long program for a young person in this community. You want to solve the crime problem in this community? Become a volunteer with the Boss Youth League. You want to solve the crime problem in Selma? Donate, contribute a scholarship for a young person in this community for pennies a day. Literally pennies a day. You can make the difference between a child not having somewhere to go after school and not having access to entrepreneur information and the sport of basketball, and a child being at home alone, being a latchkey kid. Y'all, the time is now for us to take action. It has been a pleasure to be here with you yet again this beautiful Friday, December 30th, right here on Growing Forward. I am your host, Lydia Chatman. It is a pleasure for me to also say Happy Kwanzaa. Wish you all a very blessed and prosperous Happy New Year. Mrs. Moore, thank you so much for being here with me.
Thank you.
Honey, we got a lot of miles to go, but we're going to make this thing together. We are better together, y'all. This has been Growing Forward. Thanks for watching.